This magician came to this city. The city was very quiet with no noise on the streets. The magician started playing music and an old lady heard it and walked over. He immediately began performing magic and conjured a bouquet of flowers. However, the old lady simply came over and turned off the music. The magician then began performing for the air. He didn't know how long it had passed, but not a single person had watched him. Feeling dejected, he sat on the ground. It was then that he saw a little boy playing with a toy. He walked over to the boy, took the toy, and began performing magic. In no time, the small toy transformed into a delicate toy airplane flying in the air. A man saw this and handed his little dog to the magician, asking him to turn the dog into a fierce big dog. The magician returned to the stage and immediately began casting his spell. Soon enough, the little dog had turned into a fierce big dog. The man was delighted and rewarded the magician with some money. At that moment, the old lady came over holding some old clothes. The magician waved his hand and performed a little magic. The old lady instantly changed into a beautiful new outfit. He then turned the baskets in the hands of two women into designer handbags. More and more people came to find the magician. He earned a lot of money through his skill at that point. The mayor also noticed what was happening. Suddenly, the sky grew dark. The magician knew that his magic could not touch water, so he quickly packed up his things and prepared to leave. However, the bell rang and the mayor walked out of the castle. The people brought the magician to the mayor. At that moment, the magician saw the ruby-encrusted scepter in the mayor's hand. The mayor demanded that the magician conjure a statue. The magician immediately began to cast his spell. Suddenly, a statue appeared out of thin air. At the same time, the magician had already driven away. The people happily waved him off. Soon it began to rain heavily. The truth was that the magician had stolen the ruby from the scepter and removed his disguise, and all the magic in the city began to lose its power.